Hello everyone, my name is Saygın and we are with Ali Elzoheiry today. Hello sir, welcome. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you?
Yes, so my name is Ali. I'm a software engineer, game developer, studio founder, and content creator teaching Unreal Engine on YouTube.
We're gonna make a quick interview. I will ask some questions. So let me start with the first one. Sir, if you were starting game development from scratch today, what are the common mistakes you would make sure to avoid?
So I think the game dev industry is huge. There's a ton of specialties. One mistake a lot of people when they start out is that they try to do everything, is that they think they can do everything, and that ends up that they don't really master one thing. So I think being T-shaped is really important. I think it was also mentioned in today's talks. Specialize in one thing, but have overarching knowledge in a lot of things.
And the second question, if you had to give 3 pieces of advice to the beginner game developers, what would they be?
Be curious about games, about how games work. Whenever you play a game, always ask how they made this thing, why is it fun? Whether you're a developer or a programmer or a designer, I think it's your responsibility to make something fun. So always ask what makes this mechanic fun in a game I like. Try to find resources and understand the psychology behind game design. And even as a programmer, this becomes really important.
Thank you, sir. For a developer portfolio, do you think that it's more valuable to join lots of game jams and make smaller games with small teams, or making more complex games in a long period?
So portfolios are a sort of necessary evil of the industry because it's really difficult to dilute all your skills to just a single showcase. But it's also necessary because you need to be able to quickly showcase your skills from a showcase or a website or even a PDF. So what I'd say focus on is the goal of the portfolio is to get you into the room with the studio that you're applying for. So if they find something impressive that they like, if they find something that resonates with them, then they will invite you. So it's a mix of both. You should be able to show your skills. You should be able to show that you can work in a team. You should be able to show that you solve actual problems and that you can make cool shit.
So as you know, Unreal Engine is huge. So how can beginners find their way without getting lost in all different tools, features, and new systems?
Yeah. And I remember when I opened Unreal Engine for the first time, I was amazed and scared at the same time. I mean, Unreal Engine isn't just a programming tool, it isn't just an animation tool, it's the entire pipeline is in it. So most important thing is to understand where your place in the engine is. So understand that, okay, maybe as a gameplay programmer, you won't be playing around with materials a lot. Understand that as a level designer, you don't really need to write C++. So understand what are the different sections of the engine, what the engine offers in terms of tooling, and focus on the ones that are relevant for you and what you're trying to do. It's also really important to just know what everything does, what all the buttons do, what the shortcuts are, and it's important to know that you don't have to know all these tools at a deep level, but it's just good to know that, oh, I've now opened the animation graph, I don't want to be here, so that's not my part. So it's important to know where you are in the engine.
And I will ask the classic question, the classic debate.
Yeah.
Blueprints versus C++.
Yeah.
Still in 2026.
Yeah.
How should the professional workflow balance the two? And is it still enough to just knowing one of them?
So I think the debate is very much alive today because when you start with Unreal Engine, you feel like, oh, I can do everything in Blueprints. But when you're starting, you're prototyping. You're not building core systems. And you can prototype everything in Blueprints. You can make a full game in Blueprints. But the problem is Blueprints wasn't made to be a scalable system. Blueprints is made to be a scripting language. It's meant to have you prototype things quickly and it's very, very useful to communicate to C++. Your core systems should still be in C++. There's a million reasons why. First of all, C++ is a tried and tested language. It's been through so many iterations, and it's still the standard in game development because you have full control over the hardware of the machine. And if you want to build a production-ready game that's not just a prototype, you need full control over the hardware of the machine, or you at least need some control to be able to scale this project. You need multiple developers working together, and again, that's very difficult to do with blueprints. But once you have the systems built, you move to blueprints because that's how you use the systems. It's the thinking of a systems programmer or a gameplay programmer designs the systems in C++, and a technical designer and even gameplay programmers use those same systems in blueprints. So that's really the line between them. It's you build something and then you use it to author a mechanic.
As an authorized instructor, what is the common mistakes you see among self-taught developers?
Not understanding software fundamentals. So there are things that software engineers don't even talk about because they're taken as basics. So it's how to write clean code, and that applies for blueprints as well. Blueprints are code. When a beginner doesn't understand the software principles of object-oriented programming, functional programming, event-driven design, what software design patterns exist to solve which problems, then they make very beginner mistakes that will lead to big problems down the line. These things exist to solve common problems that you will certainly face. It's not a nice to have, you will face these problems if you don't write clean code. Again, when you're prototyping, it doesn't matter if your code is clean or scalable, but the biggest problem is a beginner will prototype something, they'll see that it works, and they'll feel like, why do I need to learn any software principles since it works? And that's a big mistake.
Thank you. Unreal Engine gets huge updates every year, as you know, and how can developers deal with the pressure of feeling like they have to learn everything, every single of new feature?
I think there are great tools in Unreal Engine, and the tools are there to solve a problem. If this is not your problem, you don't need to learn the tool. If you aren't building a game with a ton of abilities that's multiplayer, you don't need to learn the gameplay ability system. If you're not building a game with complex movement logic, you don't need to learn the mover plugin. So if the tool helps you do something better, then learn the tool. If the tool gives you pressure to learn something new, then it's not really helping you.
In your projects, what is the weirdest and most painful bug you have ever encountered? Actually, most painful one.
It has to be replication. So
Multiplayer, right?
the problem. Okay, anyone from Epic Games watches this. So the problem with the replicates checkbox, if you are trying to have a replicated variable inside a component, inside an actor, the actor itself needs to be replicated as well, not just the variable. I spent weeks debugging an issue of why my variable isn't replicated, assuming that if the variable is marked as replicate, but the component isn't, the engine will warn me. You're trying to replicate something that can't be replicated. It's a very, very easy warning to add. But I did not get that warning, so I assumed everything was good. But it was one missing checkbox on a actor component.
Change everything, right? Also notify states, they are not replicated also.
Yeah, also rep notifies work differently, blueprints in C++. That's not mentioned anywhere. So you gotta learn that the hard way.
There is no documents about it, right? What do you think about AI integration in game development? Should developers see it as a threat or just another tool in their workflow?
I have a lot of opinions on AI. I can fill a whole talk about these opinions. But I think at the end of the day, it goes down to if it is a tool that takes away tedious work that isn't creative and that doesn't add to the soul of the game, then AI is really helpful. When you're writing code, the end result is it needs to be working, it needs to be functional. So AI that helps you write code, as long as you understand what you're writing, is very useful. AI that takes away creative freedom, like builds an asset for you, that is a very big problem because games are an artistic medium. They're not just a product that you want to finish. No, there is a process. There is an artistic process that goes into making any game, and that gives it its soul. If I play a game and I have a great time playing it, and then someone comes and tells me, oh, by the way, this whole game was made with AI, I'm never gonna play it again. It lost all meaning. It doesn't.
Not unique, right?
Not just unique. It doesn't have a soul. There was no human that struggled and crafted something for me to experience. I think games are a way of humans sharing experiences with others. It's not just a product that solves a problem. No, it is an experience that I have. And whenever I'm playing a game, I'm also, this may be the game developer in me, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of the people that made it. It's like, wow, it must have been incredibly difficult to do this thing. Oh, someone spent weeks polishing up this wall that I just dashed past. And this feeling makes me feel like I'm playing more than a game. This is an experience crafted by hundreds over years, and there was effort and soul put into it. When AI does that for you, this whole essence is gone.
So lastly, let's do a quick fire round.
Sure.
Short questions and fast answers.
Yeah.
Ready?
Ready.
Indie games or AAA games?
Indie games.
Work from home or office?
Hybrid.
Hybrid.
Yes.
Okay. PC or console?
You gotta do both. You gotta do both.
Single player games or multiplayer?
You're gonna make me answer both for all, but if I have to pick one, single player.
Blueprints or C++? They're hard question.
I mean, you can't pick one or the other, but I really love what Unreal Engine has done with Blueprints. It's an amazing tool.
Your favorite game genre to play?
First-person shooters.
Keyboard and mouse or controller?
Keyboard and mouse always.
So realistic arts or stylized arts?
Stylized any day.
Any day. Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee. I love my coffee.
Everyday coffee, yeah. Story or gameplay?
I'm a gameplay person. Even though story drives me, I focus on gameplay first.
Working at night or in the morning?
I'm a night owl myself.
Me too. So this was the last question. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experiences with us. It was a pleasure. So this was the end, guys. Thank you for watching and see you in the future. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.